Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
जय गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Nitai Gauranga ki jai, Sri Krishna Balram ki jai, Sri Srinivasa Govinda ki jai, Sri Lakshmi Narasimhadev Anantadev ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 11, Text 11. Phalavikriyanītasya Chutadhanya-karadvayam Phalair apurayad ratnaihi Phalabhandam apuricha. Phalavikriyanītasya Dhanya-karadvayam Phalairapurayadratnaihi Phalabhandam apuricha. Phalavikrayini, the aborigine fruit vendor, who was an elderly woman. Tasya, of Krishna, Chutadhanya, the paddy he brought to barter having mostly fallen. Karadvayam, palms of the hands. Phalaihi, apurayat, the fruit vendor filled his small palms with fruits. Ratnaihi, in exchange for jewels and gold. Phalabhandam, the basket of fruit. Apuricha, filled. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. While Krishna was going to the fruit vendor very hastily, most of the grains he was holding fell. Nonetheless, the fruit vendor filled Krishna's hands with fruits, and her fruit basket was immediately filled with jewels and gold. Please repeat. While Krishna was going to the fruit vendor very hastily, most of the grains he was holding fell. Nonetheless, the fruit vendor filled Krishna's hands with fruits, and her fruit basket was immediately filled with jewels and gold. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In Bhagavad Gita 9:26, Krishna says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upahritam ashnami prayatatmanaha. Krishna is so kind that if anyone offers him a leaf, a fruit, a flower, or some water, he will immediately accept it. The only condition is that these things should be offered with bhakti. Yome bhaktya prayachati. Otherwise, if one is puffed up with false prestige, thinking, I have so much opulence and I am giving something to Krishna, one's offering will not be accepted by Krishna. The fruit vendor, although a woman belonging to the poor aborigine class, dealt with Krishna with great affection, saying, Krishna, you have come to me to take some fruit in exchange for grains. All the grains have fallen, but still you may take whatever you like. Thus she filled Krishna's palms with whatever fruits he could carry. In exchange, Krishna filled her whole basket with jewels and gold. From this incident, one should learn that for anything offered to Krishna with love and affection, Krishna can reciprocate many millions of times over, both materially and spiritually. The basic principle involved is an exchange of love. Therefore, Krishna teaches in Bhagavad Gita 9:27, Yat karoshi yadashnasi yajjuhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. O son of Kunti, all that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer and give away, as well as all austerities that you may perform, should be done as an offering unto me. With love and affection, one should try to give something to Krishna from one's source of income. Then one's life will be successful. Krishna is full in all opulences. He does not need anything from anyone. But if one is prepared to give something to Krishna, that is for one's own benefit. The example given in this connection is that when one's real face is decorated, the reflection of one's face is automatically decorated. Similarly, if we try to serve Krishna with all our opulences, we as parts and parcels, or reflections of Krishna, will become happy in exchange. Krishna is always happy, for he is Atma Rama, fully satisfied with his own opulence. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada. It's a beautiful pastime. So you can imagine that picture of Krishna and that fruit vendor. It's most attractive. So this Phala Vikrayini, Vikrayini means one who sells. So Phala Vikrayini, this fruit vendor, a fruit seller, when Krishna came he was holding some grains in his palms. He was imitating his parents, giving the grains and taking something in return. So he picked up some grains and he was running, small hands, small palms, and everything was falling. So Prabhupada says he was running hastily, and then almost everything fell off. And then he went and gave. So from his karadvayam, kara means hands, his both hands he was holding. So karadvayam chutadhanyam, chuta means fell down. So these grains have fallen down from his two beautiful palms. So this fruit vendor, tasya chutadhanyam, she saw that Krishna has dropped most of these grains. But still, she filled his hands with as much fruit as he can hold. So Krishna was trying to hold. Oh, she's giving so much fruit, so let me take it. So Phalair Apurayat, she filled Krishna's hands with a lot of fruit. Apurayat means filled. And then in return what happened? Phalabhandam, the fruit container, Ratnaihi Apuricha, it became filled with jewels and gold. See, people, they don't understand this principle. And even if they read, it takes a long time for them to become fortunate to understand this principle. How Krishna reciprocates unlimitedly, both materially and spiritually. People think it is my hard-earned money. Why should I give to God? So there was this businessman who had a lot of riches. And in that kingdom, there was a king, and this businessman was so richer that he built a beautiful palace that even the king was envying him. He was so rich. So one time he was traveling for a business on a ship, and he was coming back successfully finishing his business, and there was this huge storm. Initially they thought it will subside, but the storm getting bigger and bigger, and everybody in the ship said, now we are going to die. This is a storm that we have never witnessed. We are going to die. And this businessman, he was so possessive about his wealth and he wanted to enjoy more. And he said, what is the use of enjoying if I lose my life? Let me pray to God. He prayed to God, my dear God, please save us from this. Please save me, my life. If you save, then I will give you the palace that I built. And immediately after he prayed, within few moments, that storm became less and less, became subsided. And then this man felt, oh my God, what did I do? I should have waited a few more minutes. My dear God, never mind. I was too hasty in my prayer. Let it go. Again, few moments passed. Again, the storm became intense and severe. And again, everybody was howling, shouting, crying. And again, this man said, my dear God, please forgive me. I'm too fickle-minded. Don't take my inconsistency into picture. So I'm keeping my word. I'll sell the palace and whatever I get, I'll give it to you in charity. And this time again the storm subsided. So he hesitated. Okay, let's figure out something. I should not play games with God. And so they came safely to the shore, and everybody was happy. He was happy. But then that was bothering him. He has to give that money, whatever that palace fetches him. So he put the palace in auction. So the notice was given, everybody please come, there is a big auction going on. Everybody came, even the king came, and they were eager. So the king was ready to give whatever he wants, because that kind of craftsmanship nobody was able to achieve. And then he sprung a surprise. So he put a cat in front of the building. He said, this cat I'm going to sell for $10 million. And whoever buys this cat, I'm going to give this beautiful palace for just $1. And everybody was like, is he crazy or what? He just got some street cat and he's doing all this nonsense. And then people started to understand his motive. What is he trying to do? What was his intent? Get the $10 million and give $1 to God. So people find all kinds of methods to cheat God. So Prabhupada explains elsewhere that actually everything belongs to God. We are trying to take God's resources and enjoy for ourselves. So we are actually stealing God's property. So everything we have to give back to God. I've come across this beautiful purport. It'll blow your mind. I'll read it from the second canto. Not that. I'll come to that later. So the principle of what happens when you give. There are different levels of giving. And what will happen at each level is mentioned by Srila Prabhupada. So listen very carefully. The materialistic way of pious activities like charity is recommended in the Smruti Shastras as quoted by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura. Okay. Money given in charity to a suitable person is guaranteed bank balance in the next life. Okay. Such charity is recommended to be given to a Brahmana. That is one. If money is given in charity to a non-Brahmana without Brahmanical qualification, the money is returned in the next life in the same proportion. If it is given in charity to a half-educated Brahmana, even then the money is returned double. If the money is given in charity to a learned and fully qualified Brahmana, the money is returned 100 and 1,000 times. And if the money is given to a Veda Paraga means one who has factually realized the path of the Vedas, it is returned by unlimited multiplication. The ultimate end of Vedic knowledge is realization of the personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, as stated in Bhagavad Gita. Where does it say in Bhagavad Gita? The ultimate end of Vedic knowledge is realization of Lord Krishna. Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyaha. There is guarantee of monies being returned even if given in charity, regardless of the proportion. Similarly, a moment passed in the association of pure devotee by hearing and chanting the transcendental messages of the Lord is a perfect guarantee for eternal life, for returning home back to Godhead. So you see how our charity never goes in vain. You give to a Brahmana, you get back. And actually, to the degree to which you give to a more qualified, the money keeps coming back to you, manyfold. So Krishna is not going to keep. But then a question comes, so if the devotees who are always serving Krishna, who are always giving charity to Krishna in whatever they have, why they appear poor? Why that money doesn't seem to be apparently coming back manifold as it is told here? Why the devotees appear poor? Like for example, Sudama, he was so poor that he was not able to even properly eat, provide for his family. He was a pure devotee of the Lord. So if Krishna gives unlimitedly, reciprocation, like how this fruit vendor was given so much of jewels and gold, why Krishna did not give or does not give to all the devotees? What is the answer? For their own good. Krishna knows what is good. If he gives, maybe they will go away from Krishna consciousness. Okay, very good. Is it? Hmm. Right. Hmm. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Both ways they are benefited. So Krishna decides to give what is good, either spiritually or materially. So we should not be thinking why Krishna did not give me material reciprocation. Ah, glorification. Ah, I wanted to cover that aspect. I'll come to that. To develop surrender. Correct. Going to use for, yes. Right. Correct, correct. You said something. Devotees also don't like material riches. They get entangled by Maya, yes. Correct. Yes. Based on the devotee situation, Krishna, whether they can handle. Right. Correct. It's very good points. So what I wanted to highlight was, some of you have said, the pure devotees broadly of two types. Those who are indifferent to riches and those who are averse to riches. So what are the two categories? Indifferent and averse. So let's say averse. Like Sudama, he was averse to material riches. To give a small example, so there was one devotee who was living in a small place. There was a riverside. He had a small hut. He would go to the riverside every day. He would put his old blanket and sit on the floor, and he would nicely chant. And whatever is available by Krishna's mercy, he would get for the family, and they would somehow, go along like that. So one time there was a big businessman who was passing by, a pious man. So he saw this great devotee. He was nicely chanting, but his clothes are all little torn and the blanket was not proper. So he went to the house because he knew that this man won't accept any gift from him. So he went to his house, Hare Krishna Jai Srila Prabhupada, and he gifted a very expensive, very high quality blanket to his wife, saying, you give this to your husband so that he can nicely, with a quality blanket, he can sit and chant. And so he went back home, this man, and the wife narrated. And he said, okay, if he has given me with love, let me use it. And then he took it and started to use. Within 2 days, he came and said, no, give this blanket back to him. I don't want. Why? Because now, so far I've been chanting nicely, enjoying without bothering anything. But now I put this costly, expensive blanket on the floor. Every moment I'm thinking, oh my God, this is getting dusty. This is going to get torn. This is going to get spoiled. Such a expensive thing. Instead of focusing my consciousness on the Lord, I am focusing on this foolish thing. I don't want to give it away. So this is called devotees who are averse to material riches, because they think that will deviate them from their goal of Krishna consciousness. So Krishna satisfies their desires. Ye yadha mam prapadyante tam stadaiva bhajamyaham. Like Sudama and all. And then the other category is those who are indifferent. Indifferent means they don't care whether, if it is there, they will use it for the Lord's service. Like somebody gave the example of Ambarish Maharaj. Dhruv Maharaj, Prabhupada himself, like Prabhupada used to tell, his father used to tell him, if Krishna decides to take away with his 10 hands, how much you can hold with your 2 hands? And if Krishna decides to give with his 10 hands, how much you can take with your 2 hands? So, Prabhupada always acknowledged his father was a pure devotee. So these are the 2 kinds of devotees. So now coming to the other point about, because people, they, many times you also might have faced this question. So why are you worshipping the Lord so gorgeously? Why are you spending so much on festivals or Abhisheka or building grand temples and opulent prasadam and so on and so forth? Why can't you serve the poor? God doesn't need your service. People need your service. So what do you say for that? Huh? Watering the roots. Okay, very good. Huh? Everyone is poor. Person who is saying that also is poor. So everyone is poor, so everybody should serve everyone. Huh? Huh? Right. That's a purport. Krishna, Prabhupada answers that point in the purport. So this is a very important, Prabhupada is quoting a shloka from Bhagavatam, which now Krishna Sharan will display. So this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 9th chapter, the prayers from Prahlad Maharaj. This is what the principle Prabhupada is mentioning. I'll read it out and let's see the meaning. Naivatmanah prabhurayam nijalabha purno manam janat avidushah karuno vrunite yad jano bhagavate vidadhita manam tachatmane pratimukhasya yadha mukhashrihi. So go to the translation. The Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is always fully satisfied in Himself. Therefore, when something is offered to him, the offering by the Lord's mercy is for the benefit of the devotee. For the Lord does not need service from anyone. To give an example, if one's face is decorated, the reflection of one's face in a mirror is also seen to be decorated. So now who can answer based on this? Why we have to serve God and not serve anyone we want? Does God need service? Uh-huh. Right. Right. Correct. So beautiful example, analogy, right? You are looking into the mirror and you are looking into your reflection. Let's say you are trying to decorate the reflection. You're trying to put the bindi, you're trying to put the makeup, you're trying to put tilak, whatever it is. Will you get actually happy? You are not getting decorated. But if you are decorating yourself, the reflection is also getting beautiful. So that means, like Prabhupada says in the purport, the example given in this connection is that when one's real face is decorated, the reflection of one's face is automatically decorated. Similarly, if we try to serve Krishna with all our opulences, we as parts and parcels are reflections of Krishna. See what Prabhupada uses. Many times Prabhupada says, we are parts and parcels of Krishna. And now he is also saying we are reflections of Krishna. So a reflection does not have independent existence. It is dependent on the source. So then we will become happy in exchange. Krishna is always happy, for he is Atma Rama, fully satisfied with his own opulence. Atma Rama means what? Atma Arama. He is satisfied. He is taking Rama, Ramante, Aram. He is taking satisfaction from his own self. He doesn't need satisfaction from others. There is this famous verse in Bhagavatam starting with Atma Rama. Atma Ramasya Munayo Nirgrandha Apyurukrame Kurvanti Ahetukim Bhaktim Itham Bhuta Guno Harihi. So, an interesting incident happens in Chaitanya Charitamrita. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes sannyasa and comes to where? He makes his headquarters as Jagannath Puri. And there he meets one elderly personality who is Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya tries to teach impersonalism, Mayavada to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 7 days. But in return, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preaches bhakti to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya from the Shastras and convinces him. And in that context, at the end of that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Krishna is so transcendently attractive that even those who have given up everything, who are liberated, the Gnanis, who have nothing to do with anything in this material world, they are also attracted to Krishna's pastimes. Atma Ramasya Munayo Nirgrandha Urukrame Kurvanti Ahaitukim Bhaktim. Even they are attracted to the bhakti of Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, why don't you please explain this shloka? He asks, who? Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And now Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, with his eloquence, with his scholarship and quoting from Vedic literature, he explains that shloka in 9 different ways. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes very impressed. You are like that Brihaspati of the heavenly planets. There is nobody equal to you in this world in terms of your knowledge of scriptures. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, okay, I've given my explanation. I want to hear from you how you explain this verse. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, without touching any of those 9, he explains, 18 times, 18 different meanings. Without touching any of those 9, he gives 18 different meanings. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya becomes spellbound. And he is completely convinced that he is none other than Krishna himself. And the moment he comes to that conviction, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu shows him 4-armed Vishnu form. And then he also shows the 2-armed form of Krishna holding flute. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya falls to the floor, starts to offer obeisances. And in that spontaneity, he composes 100 beautiful verses of glorification of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Prabhupada quotes one verse quite often among that. Right? Anyone remembers? Yes. Vairagya vidya nija bhakti yogam sikshardhamekah purushah purana Sri Krishna Chaitanya Sharira Dhari Krupam Buddhim Yas Tamaham Prapadye. So like that he quotes 100 verses. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reveals everything about the holy name, about the glories of preaching his devotional service. And now Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya becomes completely transformed. Since after that, he becomes a great devotee of Krishna, giving up his monistic understanding, impersonalism. Later, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was preaching to Sanatana Goswami, Sanatana Goswami says, "My dear Lord, I heard you explained this Atma Rama Shloka to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya in 18 different ways. Can you please explain to me, make me also fortunate?" And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "I was a madman and Sarvabhauma was another madman. And we were discussing something mad. And in that madness I told something and you are taking it so seriously." And Sanatana Goswami says, No, I also want to become mad. Please explain. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not just 18, he explains 61 different explanations of that Atmarama verse. You can go and read. Amazing kinds of description. Each and every syllable in that he explains in so many ways. Because Bhagavatam is like that. The composition of Bhagavatam, it is said that the first shloka of Bhagavatam, which is Janmadiyasya yataha yatonvayaditaratascha abhignaswarat, like that. It seems Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was giving lecture series. One shloka he spoke for 1.5 months. So he was going on speaking. So there is so much of meaning in each and every shloka, in each and every line, every syllable even. There's so much of depth. That is why Bhagavatam is like Amala Purana. So I'll stop here. Anyone has any questions or comments? Yeah. Can you give microphone to him so he can explain it to everyone? So I think basically what he is saying is, in the purport that I read about money doubling and tripling and those kind of things, so there is also, Prabhupada mentioned how by associating even one moment with a pure devotee, so what did he say? A moment passed in the association of pure devotee by hearing and chanting the transcendental messages of the Lord is a perfect guarantee for eternal life, for returning home back to Godhead. And on that he is saying something.
I'm just asking, like, if because time equal to money, so instead of giving money, so if I spend time with a pure devotee, what I get return is actually the unlimited. That is actually the eternal time, which is a spiritual world. Actually, that's what I.
Correct. So you give money, you get money. You spend time, you get eternal time, which is going back to God. Is that correct? Okay. Yeah. Microphone.
As Prabhupada said in the purport and also the Patram Pushpam thing, Prabhu, that Krishna accepts which is given with love and affection. Right, so there was I heard this in Tirumala, people are giving so much to the Lord, but it felt a little, nicer to understand this concept. But he's been eternally, like they say that eternally is indebted, and that's why his loan is not being fulfilled. The Lord's loan is not fulfilled. That's why Tirumala gets a lot of money and all. But I heard that concept of, but he's accepting only those, there's crores of money, but he's accepting only that little amount where people are giving with love and affection, not the crores that are being put in exchange of material stuff. And it felt like, that seems right in terms of people might give so much to, temples or charity or anything, but the consciousness is what is actually being driven on what is accepted by the Lord.
Right.
Around the same time, I heard this in our temple. There was Homa going on, and you remember probably a year back or something when they did this thing, it fell into the hundi. Did you all know that? When it fell in, Premadatri Mataji knows. When they were doing Homa in our temples, initially when we started Narsimha Homa, when the pujaris were doing that, they throw the fire thing, it actually went and fell into the hundi, and all the all the money was burnt. And
oh, is it?
Yeah. Both of the examples came to me in the same week. I heard in the same week, and I was relating, oh, that makes sense. Probably people have put so much money and thinking, oh, I've given whatever, but it never reached the Lord. And in that same way, we might think we are doing so much service or, but the real consciousness, what we are doing, is that's the only thing that's reaching the Lord.
Right.
So whether it's just not the money, but when we are serving Vaishnavas, when we are giving money to the temple, or when we are serving the mission of Prabhupada, we might feel, or book distribution, prasadam distribution. But I think that little only that consciousness, what you're doing with love and affection is reaching the Lord, and not the entire thing, what you show up as the success. That's what I learned from those 2-3 examples. So whenever I hear Patram Pushpam, I relate to those examples.
Yes,
thank you so much.
Wonderful, thank you. Yeah.
So here, let's say you have $10 in the pocket, and one person is really hungry, and he's going to die in 2 hours if you don't provide him the food. On the other side, you have to do the devotional service. So where do we spend the $10, Prabhu?
If Krishna has put me in that situation to save a person, I will save that person, and I will also make that person donate after he is saved. Because Krishna saved you.
We can buy prasadam with the $10 and give that person.
Once he's saved because of Krishna, he will become more indebted. Krishna saved you. Give back. He will give his whole life. Anyway, so some things are, you cannot officially give answer. Based on situation, you have to act.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Randaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. బ్యాగ్ నా రూమ్లో ఉంటుంది.
Purusha Namaha